Today we are talking about CTR manipulation with Parasite SEO. Wow, that is a mouthful. What is CTR manipulation, Parasite SEO? You might be thinking, oh my God, these big words. Okay, CTR, click-through rate. Manipulating click-through rate in Google search. You're using robots that have unique IP addresses that are clicking on your results to tell Google search that your results are popular. Parasite SEO. You're using big platforms that make it easier to rank fast for your keywords that are more trusted. Platforms like Medium, platforms like Quora, platforms like Reddit, platforms like LinkedIn. So you are writing posts on these platforms, Reddit, Quora, Medium, LinkedIn, targeting your keywords, putting in maybe your links, your affiliate codes, your products, recommending your products. And then you are using these robots with unique IP addresses to click on these results in Google search, or to click on your entire brand. It could also be just the profile for this account that is posting these things. And you're trying to fool Google into thinking that you have the best results. And the reason that you're doing it on these platforms is because if you do this on your own website, if you do CTR manipulation on your own website, super risky. Super risky. Not only can your own website be penalized and completely de-indexed, but this could affect the rest of your properties that you have on Google Search Console. Or if Google is able to tie this website back to an email address and tie that email address to other websites, this could affect your other websites. There's so many risks involved. But by doing it with Reddit, with Quora, with Medium, by using a different email address and a VPN, it's a lot safer. Worst case scenario, the account is the one to get de-indexed. All the posts from that account, that's what gets de-indexed. LinkedIn isn't going to get de-indexed. Reddit as a whole isn't going to get de-indexed. Quora as a whole isn't going to get de-indexed. Medium, not going to get de-indexed. The worst case scenario is your account and all of its posts get de-indexed. So I want to talk about the risks involved. What a lot of people are doing wrong. I'm not recommending this strategy, but I'm going to talk about it. I don't recommend any black hat strategies publicly. I'm not going to do that. That's silly. But I'm definitely going to share it. And then the pros and cons to doing this black hat against the rules, search engine optimization, versus white hat, which is within the rules, search engine optimization. What do I prefer? Someone who has done SEO for well over a decade for some of the biggest companies in the world, my own companies, other people's companies. I love SEO, my favorite channel. What do I recommend? So lots of people around the internet, they say that this form of search engine optimization, Parasite SEO with CTR manipulation, with click-through rate manipulation, it's very churn and burn. Parasite SEO as a whole is churn and burn. The thing about it is a lot of people, they do it improperly. They're targeting the most competitive keywords, which requires the spammiest tactics. It's high risk, high return. It usually doesn't work for very long. They go too hard with it too fast. A better way to do it is to have not every post target a keyword, not target the most competitive terms, somewhat competitive and then sometimes not competitive, and then actually trying to make good content. A huge issue with a lot of the parasites, that's what you call these people who are going after, who are doing these methods, you call them parasites. A huge issue with these parasites is they will also make really crap quality content. They will really put up bad stuff. It looks bad. It reads poorly. Maybe it's written a good amount with AI. It just doesn't read well. It doesn't satisfy search intent. Overall, it doesn't satisfy search intent. A searcher gets to this page. They get to the page because it's ranking high through CTR manipulation. And they look at it and they say, oh, this looks ugly. This doesn't look good. I don't trust this. This doesn't read well. And then they bounce. And so when the black hat tactics stop, when the CTR manipulation stops, the lack of engagement, the poor searcher engagement makes the page decrease in results. And then when Google sees that pattern across all posts from this account, the account gets de-indexed. It gets penalized. Okay, very clearly spam. Super easy to detect that stuff. It's a pattern across so many of its posts. The engagement is super bad. Why would we trust this? Its quality score is terrible. Why would we trust this account? That's number one, is that a lot of these posts are just so bad. So these parasites, they're not making good stuff. If you're actually making good stuff and you're going after, it could even be if you're going after competitive terms, but if you're going after competitive terms, you need to make posts that satisfy search intent, where a searcher is going to arrive on that post and they're going to say, I trust this, or at least I trust this enough to stay on this post and maybe click through, maybe click a link or two on this post. Because like I said, when the manipulation stops, if the engagement isn't there, the rankings drop. And when that happens for all of the posts with an account, that account gets penalized. Now, the alternative is you're going after overlooked keywords that are high converting. I call these compact keywords. I just made a SEO program about it called compactkeywords.com. But in short, these are bottom of funnel keywords. They're overlooked. No one knows how to find them. No one knows how to target them properly. In short, the 5-second is put the keyword in the page title, the meta description, the H1, the beginning of the first sentence, and the URL slug. That's the 5-second how to target them. Finding them, a lot more complicated. The 5-second is look at competitor rankings, see what they're ranking for, and try to find their keywords that they're accidentally ranking for that are bottom of funnel. I don't like to gatekeep, so that's the 5-second of it. If you're doing CTR manipulation with Parasite SEO and you're going after these keywords, you will retain your rankings for a lot longer. However, if you're still putting out bad stuff, bad pages that searchers don't trust, once a competitor comes along, you'll lose your ranking pretty quickly. And the thing is, with these keywords, they're so easy to rank for, you don't even need to do the black hat tactics. You could use your own website. You could use your own website, and it doesn't even have to have a ton of domain authority. It doesn't even have to have a ton of backlinks. So if you're doing Parasite SEO, you're using black hat tactics to rank fast, like CTR manipulation or shady backlinks, dodgy backlinks. You still have to have decent content, because once the black hat tactics stop, the engagement has to actually measure up to competitors in the SERPs, in the search engine results pages. So that's why a lot of people say the black hat stuff isn't actually that profitable. It can work, it can get some quick results, but overall, it's a waste of time compared to actually building something long term. And I'm going to give an example from Charles Float, who I love to quote all the time on the show. I'm going to get him as a guest. He said on LinkedIn, the best investment you can make in search engine optimization is building up your root authority. That's your domain authority, getting high quality backlinks to your website. At some point, you'll get almost instant rankings just because your domain is that strong. So that's actually building up an asset, building up a brand. And then you can rank for tons of keywords, and you can rank for them really fast, and they can be competitive. For these bottom of funnel keywords, for compact keywords, you don't need much domain authority, but to go after the most competitive keywords of top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, you do need domain authority. You need a good amount of backlinks. And that's the other thing. By doing it in a white hat way, you're not risking just suddenly getting de-indexed for all of your pages. And your SEO can compound year over year. That's one of the reasons so many smart and savvy marketers love search engine optimization, because it's a channel that compounds. Your rankings don't just say, let's say you're at number 5. They won't just stay at number 5. The next year, maybe you have more domain authority. Maybe you've made slight improvements to the content. The next year, you could be number 1, and then you could stay number 1 for years. And while you're number 1 for those pages, you're creating new pages where you're also becoming number 1. And then you can build a funnel so that all of your content works together. You're doing internal linking, so someone lands on one page and they're going to another page, and then they're becoming obsessed with your brand. Or you could be using users to actually get more backlinks from them. Maybe you put in some shareable feature so that they're sharing stuff on your site. There are so many different growth hacks that you can do that are not against the rules that can make all of this compound. But you can't do that, or it's very, very hard to do that with a tactic like click-through rate manipulation with Parasite SEO. And lots of marketers know that CTR manipulation, Parasite SEO, they're not long-term business models, not like actually building a brand or a website. Now, what you could do, and it still comes down to making good stuff that satisfies search intent, but what you could do is you could make YouTube Shorts. And while you're putting out YouTube Shorts, you have your keyword at the beginning of the title for your YouTube Shorts and the beginning of your description, and you write a long description, and then you have these videos appear across TikTok, Instagram Reels, LinkedIn, X is going to put in a video tab now. So X as well, they appear everywhere and they target your keywords. So now you're simultaneously building up a video brand while targeting your keywords, and YouTube Shorts are ranking crazy well. So you're going after your keywords, you're building up a video brand, and you can use that video brand to also direct people to a website or a product. That to me is the craziest tack. It's sort of like Parasite SEO because you're using video to rank really well on Google because it ranks really well on Google. But at the same time, if people are going to your video and then they're clicking off right away, it's still about the content. And it's the same thing with these pages. If you're doing CTR manipulation with Parasite SEO and someone is clicking on your result and they're bouncing, Google sees that. They're going to your video and they're bouncing, Google sees that. The black hat tactics can game it for a little bit, but it's better to actually learn how to make stuff that retains searchers. That's why I talk about white hat stuff so much more on this show. The strongest brands are built with white hat tactics, even when something, okay, mostly, I want to emphasize mostly, because even when Forbes and all these major publishers, they were caught doing Parasite SEO. They used third parties. The third parties were ranking for a variety of keywords, like best cockroach removal services. For example, I think Forbes was ranking #1 for that. And these third parties were using the domain, the strong domain, to rank really well for these keywords. They were putting out content where they weren't even checking the products that they were recommending. Forbes wasn't even, or the publications weren't even reviewing the content that these third parties were putting out, but the publishers were making money because they had a deal with the third party to give them a percentage of the money that they make, or as a flat fee or whatever it is. They're making a lot of money. Forbes was making, I think, 50% of its revenue this way. But the thing is, those pages were still more trusted than a lot of the junk that most black hat SEOs put out. The pages looked good, they looked proper, they read pretty well, and so it still retained searchers. They still were putting out at least decent content, even if it was wrong. So it retained searchers. At the end of the day, SEO, I believe you should try to put out the most trustworthy stuff that you can. But at the end of the day, it's putting out stuff it could be video, it could be posts, it could be pages that retain searchers. So it satisfies search intent. It retains searchers who click on the result, and then it targets the keyword in the right way so that it can rank. As what I described before, putting the keyword in the critical places, or not having a page that is clearly written by AI. And there's so many AI detection tools. Google can detect that stuff pretty easily. It's about satisfying search intent because Google is so good at detecting that stuff. Part of the reason I wanted to make this is I see a lot of people on SEO X, on SEO Twitter, or LinkedIn, or whatever, or wherever, just saying Parasite SEO doesn't work anymore. It totally works, but it's not a good long-term strategy. And so I wanted to confront that. I wanted to confront that belief. So that's my take on CTR manipulation using Parasite SEO. The way that people are doing it, I mean, it's very, the other thing that I meant to share, if you want to try it, there are lots of services that can do it. You literally can Google CTR manipulation. But whenever you're doing these black hat tactics, especially the most black hat ones, or where you're buying services like CTR manipulation, use a VPN, an email address that isn't connected to any of your other properties, that doesn't have your name in it, stay anonymous, try to pay in crypto. You don't want to have the purchase tied back to you. When you're doing the black hat stuff, err on the side of extreme paranoia, because lots of times these sites are also honeypots. It's crazy. Google has lots of different honeypots for detecting parasites, black hat SEOs. That's the last thing that I will recommend. So it's a minefield out there, and the safest, easiest method, compact keywords. I'm serious. That's why I made the product. It's the safest, easiest, most high converting method. I hope you'll check out the landing page. I'm making a new landing page as well. A more simple landing page, bigger text. It's more straightforward. But I would still recommend just reading through the entire landing page because I put in a lot of value explaining the method there. But overall, those are my thoughts on click-through rate manipulation with Parasite SEO, and also a lot of the thoughts that the SEO community has. It works, but it's not a long-term strategy. By the way, yesterday's episode of the show, really, really incredible one. I can't believe the guests that came on. They sold their company to Salesforce for $745 million. They invested in Meta pre-IPO, angel investors in Liquid Death, and all these major startups in Tumblr. They founded golf.com in 1998. Gary Vaynerchuk created VaynerMedia in their conference room. Like the stories that they shared on yesterday's podcast, it was episode 566 of this show. It's crazy stories. I'm going to start chopping that up too to make short form mobile videos for Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, etc. That was a great episode if you haven't listened. That was episode 566. And this is episode 567 days in a row doing this podcast. Thank you so much for watching. If you watch on YouTube, if you listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.